Alright guys, welcome to this tutorial. So in this particular tutorial, I'm going to be learning how to put together a church flyer or a church e-flyer. Alright, so these are the details of what we're going to be using. Right, starting from the image of the pastor to the logo to the church name and every other details that's required. Alright, so let's get started. I'll be explaining every icon as we go, so just pay close attention and then try as possible to also repeat or replicate this design to make sure that you understand everything that was said. Alright, so let's get straight to business. So what I need to do here now is I need to first copy this logo. Alright, so let me copy the logo and of course start a new page. Paste the logo here. So this is the name of the church. Alright, so let's use the font. Okay, so let's use a straight font. Let me delete ministries. So for this particular font I'll be using 25. Okay, and of course the logo, and I can make this capital. Right, duplicate this and then I type ministries. Alright, so make this 17.9. So for those who are not sure why I'm using this particular figures, I'll link the video to the introduction to Canva, where I also explain how to size your fonts. Right, so it's really not about dragging and dropping. It's about having the right sizes for your fonts to make it come alive and to make it pop. Alright, so ministries, and of course I want to make it a little bigger, and then we want to increase our letter spacing, and then our logo comes here. Alright, so once we've done that, let's just group this together, and then here we go. So the next thing is we want the focus for that service. Paste. Alright, then I want to centralize it and make it bold, something like this. Alright, so I want to have 76.9. Okay, and of course I want my service to be in a different font. Let's use a regular brush for this one. Okay, fonts, regular brush for this one. Let's see how it goes. Okay, and of course for this font I could use let's use Gothic, and you can as well play around any other fonts to make it look different if you want to replicate this design. Alright, so this is what we have, Gothic, and then of course I increase the size a little. Okay, so let's still have this the way it is. Alright, and of course I get the image right here. So it's the praise or Thanksgiving service. Let's see, something like this. Okay, so the next thing is I want to get the image of the pastor down here. Alright, to make it a little bigger, then flip it to the side. Alright, and then all we need to do is then remove this image from background. If you're using a Canva Pro, you'll be able to do this right here on Canva. If you don't have access to Canva Pro, all you need to do is check the link in the description to get yourself access to Canva Pro to get started with a 30-day Canva Pro. Okay, so let's give some time to remove from background. Alright, so that's been done. So now that we have this, that is the image of the pastor. So what we need to do, I could then change this font since we already have Gothic. So depending on the font for the church, alright, I could then change this font. Let me unput this. Okay, and then of course reduce this way, just like that. Alright, so what other details do we have? We have the venue. So I'll just paste the venue here. Okay, if you need a venue icon, go to the elements and just type in venue or location or something. Something has to do with location. And like I said earlier in the previous videos, introduction videos, and some of the videos here on YouTube, that everything you're looking for is right there on Canva. It's just for you to find the right keywords to search them out. Alright, so once you can find the right keywords, you get the results that you seek. Alright, so now that we have our search results, so let's see all, and then we'll just select a particular location. Alright, so let's just work with this, reduce it. Okay, so that's what other details do we have here. We have the host. Okay, so reduce this to 25. Like I said, if you don't know why I'm using this note, you want to check the previous videos. Okay, you want to check the previous videos to know why exactly I'm using those figures. Font scaling is really important for designers. Alright, just use 21 here. And what other thing? Let's go back. We have Sunday. Okay, this is the date. Copy and paste, and then we can have the dates somewhere here. Okay, that's if it's not too small. Let's have our guitar here, and then so reduce the line spacing and then increase it a little, something like that. Or even bring the date here. So it just depends on arrangement, and then make sure it is aligned. Right, so it gives you that feel. Right, what other details do we have? 8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. Where can we have that? Paste 8 a.m. I think we can have it here, and then you have it. Change the font to, so we're already having the Gothic, so we can change the font just like this and make it all caps if need be. Right, yeah. So what other details do we need? Let's see what we have not used here. Okay, then of course the social media handle. Paste, and here I can reduce this to 17, 9, even 15. Okay, 15 is nice. I'll space out the letters a little bit so it can be readable. Right, and of course go to your element and search for social media icons. So let's be specific, Facebook. Right, once you click on Facebook, you get some. Alright, so we need to just select a Facebook icon and then drag it down here. So let's see if we can find Instagram. So now that we have the Instagram icon, just select the Instagram icon and then bring it down here as well, and that's what we have. So we have the image of the pastor. I want to put an arrow, so let me search for shapes. Okay, so now that we have our shapes, I can just select all to see the shapes that we have, and then select this particular shape just to point down to the pastor. So I'll zoom in a little, sorry, so I can reduce this. Okay, probably cannot be reduced any further, so we have to find a new shape. So let's see. So what I need to just do, right, if that shape can be used, I'll just go to and type in triangles. So I select this triangle, right, and of course I could change the color to black, right. So yeah, what I need to do is click on this and then of course rotate it. The idea is for the arrow to point to the pastor, right, and of course then this I could, so I'm thinking I bring this here, and of course I bring the location, the time before the location, right. I think that's kind of more ideal. So here we are. So we have this, we have the date here, and of course the offering and tithe, offering and Thanksgiving. So let me delete offering so I can make it bigger. Offering, sorry, offering and okay, so italics, italics, make it bigger, something like that. Okay, something like that. I think we're good that way. And of course the service, I'm thinking I reduce the service as well. I mean, I changed the font of the service back to our initial font, which was Canva Sans, right? Or any other funny font that we could use. Okay. Alright, so we'll change the service back to Canva Sans, and then of course reduce it to 21, and I'll space it out. Letter spacing, right? So I'll space it out so as to give us that feel and exactly what we want to do. Alright, so now that we have this, what is left of us to do is okay, so I'll edit the image so you can come alive a little. And so let's edit the image, edit image, selector. So my contrasts, okay, my contrasts, let's do 16. My X process -10. Okay, let's do 10. Okay, cool. Let's do shadows -40, and our blur -7. Alright, so I think our image, it looks a lot better right now. So what we are left to do now is get a background for this design, right? Get a background for this design. So first off, you would have to understand that arrangement and alignment are key elements or key parts of your design, right? They are very key parts of your design. You don't want to arrange anyhow, and you don't want to just do it anyway, right? You have to be very intentional about how you edit and how you arrange. Okay, so let's move this a little bit. So let's get a good background for our design. I mean, we've come a long way, so let's get a good background. So of course it's most likely to be white. Let's see, white. So go to element, type in white, go to photos. Alright, so now that we have this background, so I can just select out of this background, right, to give us a little bit of feel. So I use this, or any background at all. I mean, it's your choice. You're left to decide. So what I need to do here is just, of course, I want to increase the blur. Okay. Let me do that again. Increase the blur. So now that we have the background blurred out, we want to just get some colors in our design now. So it says we want to make the color suit the suit or whatever it is the man is wearing. So let's have a red background, and let's see what we get. Alright, so to make the color really easy, I would like to pick the color code from the man in suit. So I'd like to include a bit of one. So click on the text, right, go to colors, click on the plus icon, and then with this eyedropper to I'll pick his color, right? So that's how easy that is, right? And I can do the same with this as well. And of course I can add the shape. I can add the shape right here, you know, just to introduce some geometric elements in there. And of course we can add this to the bottom just like this. We'll send that to the back. Okay, another thing we could do is from this shape right here, you can add an extra shape, I don't know, something like this, and then make it, send this to the back, right? And I can make it a little bit transparent, maybe just 50% transparency, just like that. And of course I'll bring, because the guitar is not overshadowing or is above the text, so all I can do is duplicate this text and then have a little bit of white, right? Have a little bit of white. So I'll change the text element to transparent, and then like this, and then change that text to white so that it can overshadow, or it can stay on top of the guitar, just like that. I'll do the same thing for Thanksgiving as well. Copy and paste, change the text effects to hollow, reduce it to the least, and then change it to white so it can also stay just above the text. Alright, so that's what we want to achieve there. So now that we've been able to achieve that, I can just bring this a little bit closer here. Yeah, maybe just like that. And what other thing we had? So here now we could then add some what's it called, some neon effect. So what I mean by that, so let me show you what the neon effect is. So go to element, you could type flare. So let's see the results we see you get. Okay, something like this. Then let's see all. Let's select this first. This is too light, too light. So let's select all, and let's see what our research result is, and let's see the ones that we can use. Okay. Now, so just play around it and you see the one that best suits what you want to do. So something like this looks good. Let's see if this works. So for this, you just have to look for the neon effect light that works for you. Alright, so let's see. Let's just keep going. Alright, so I think this works for me. This works for me. Right, yeah. Although it's looking a little bit overboard, but I mean, this works for me. So every other thing I need to do now is just gonna be basic, right? So I just have to play around the elements a little to really get what I want and what I want to achieve. So for this color, I could then copy the color code of this, and then you go to a tool called Color Mind. Right. Once you click on Color Mind, the first icon, this is a color palette generator. Right. So since we have just one color in our design, we want to then play around more colors. Okay. Alright. So this is what the color palette looks like. So I'll just paste the code that we copied and then lock it and generate a new color palette. Alright, so once we have that color palette, we can then play around this color palette to get more colors to play with. Okay, so this could then be my lemon, like that. We want to change other colors. We change this to lemon, right? So as many, but let's stick to the color that we have. So we could still play around other colors anyways. So let's play with this. Yeah, something like that. And then this could then be this color. Okay, so I think that's pretty much sums up everything that we need. And then our image, I don't know if we have it. Okay, then we have the last image here. No, not the glitter. Copy, bring the image home. Let's expand it so it gives us that worship feel. And then transparency, bring the transparency very low. Very low. And of course the color blends well with our color. So of course we send it to the back just like that, and of course we still make it very low so we don't get to see more of the image. We also add this feel to our design. So what I need to do now is I'll select all of this and as the image and as this, and then probably make it a little bit bigger and then just rearrange it right there just like that. So I think this pretty much sums up our design as a church design. Okay, and every other thing, I mean, you could still play around it to get more feel or to just get to understand better what this is really about. All right, so you could play around this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the template or the link to this particular design on the group or in the description of this video, and as well as the group. So if you are not part of the free class, if you're not part of the group, then you want to join, you want to be a part of it. Okay, but the link to this design is going to be in this description, so you can also play around, create a template and then play around it. Just practice, really, just practice. Okay, so present. Alright, and of course what we want to do is just letter spacing and then reduce the font 17 or let's say 18, something like that. And then of course another letter spacing, I'll do 15 instead. So I think this kind of sums it all up, right? Yeah, I think we're good to go. This really looks, looks like a church e-flyer, and of course you can still play. I mean, you can still do a lot more with this, but because of time, let's just stick to what we have. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be sharing the links to this design so you can also play around it, and then you can also practice. Okay, so what I need to do now is I want to add the shadow to our image. So I want to add the shadow element to our image. So I'll come here and then I'll click on shadows. So once I click on shadows, the first, so I use shadow, right, and then I want it to be to the side. Okay, so then you can edit your shadow. So this is for you to toggle up the shadow, right? So I think we have to undo that. Okay, so we have to undo that. Another way is just to duplicate your image and then edit it, right? And then of course you blur it. You could make it black so the blur will be evident, and then send it to the back just like that, just to give it some level of depth. Okay, and then you can increase this color just like that. So I think we are pretty much done with this design. If you ask me, we're done with this design. So just a little tweak to the shadow. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this particular design. So like I said, the link to the design is going to be the template link to this design is going to be in the description. So click on that link and then practice, play around, move things around, and then you can also recreate this design using different colors and different elements and shapes. Alright, so see you in the next video.